the last time I was here a couple of weeks ago, I kind of walked away with some levels of peace, but it was a, not but, and it was a feeling of that I'm really not in control of very much at all. And as I'm sitting here trying to meditate and my monkey mind is going, is it also true that when I feel down and depressed, that I'm kind of not in control of that? There isn't anything necessarily that caused it, from your perspective?
Well, we can say that everything caused it.
Yeah.
It was a product of vast universal forces, all kinds of things. And as to what they are, it just depends on how complex you want to get.
Well, I think I get down based upon the story I'm making. In other words, that I'm doing with my thoughts.
Okay, well, that's a pretty simple story. I mean, that's a real simple story.
It's a visual. It's a kind of...
Well, just think how simple it is. I mean, you say, my thoughts are causing this depression. So it's a very simple kind of equation. Now, that doesn't take into account all of the factors that are surrounding your thoughts, of which there are many, many factors. There are biological factors that affect your thoughts. There are environmental factors, current environmental factors that affect your thoughts, what the condition is of your surroundings, as well as the condition of your body, what your hormone levels are like, what your blood sugar levels are like, all of which contribute to your thoughts. Then you have your entire history, everything that's gone before in your life, that all contribute to your thoughts. And then you have your genetics, what your basic genetic nature is, what your intellectual quotient is, what your emotional IQ is. All of those things which you're born with contribute to your thoughts. So, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, because on each of those are affected by countless other things. So we say, well, what caused it? All of those things caused it.
But I guess I'm believing my thoughts, and
So stop doing that.
that's it. Just don't. So all these factors that contribute to
What could be
thoughts.
easier?
I'd love to find out.
Is this news to you? Is this news to you?
Not for the last 5-6 years, since I've been on a bit of a spiritual,
Okay.
quote unquote,
So
spiritual
it's not news to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why haven't you done it? Just stop thinking those things.
Well, I agree with the list you made, and it does feel like it's biochemical, just kind of comes on. I wake up in the morning and the negative ticker starts going, negative thoughts about the day.
Okay.
And then I say, don't believe those thoughts.
Okay.
And it's so I get about a 20-second respite.
Okay. I'm going to give you something that may help. If you can, or if I can, so you say to yourself, don't believe those thoughts. And then you add, if I can.
Right.
Don't believe those thoughts.
If I can.
If I can.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm not so good at it.
That's right. Sometimes you can't. That's what that means when you say I'm not so good at it. Sometimes you can't.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes you can't.
But I'm doing something to myself by
Okay.
believing them.
Yes. So
So
stop
can I-
doing that if you can.
If I can. But there must be a school, and of course I've gone to different courses on,
There's 100 schools,
yeah, how to work with your thoughts, kind of thing.
500 schools,
Yeah.
and maybe one of them will prove effective for you. I have no way of predicting that. But that's sometime in the future. Right now, we're talking about something very simple.
That's depressing.
What's depressing?
Because right now, in the very present moment, I feel overwhelmed with a negative outlook. So I kind of, feel that the good part of life may be over, if you will.
Uh-huh.
And I sound exactly like my mother, by the way, to be open and honest with everybody and you. Yeah.
Okay.
This is what she would be saying. Regardless. So you talk genetic, who knows?
Okay, who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, but the fact is that you're, in this moment, this is where you are.
Yeah, to be very honest with you.
Okay.
And I don't like it.
Fair enough. No one says you have to. But this is what's happening
Yes.
in this moment. Assuming that is what's happening in this moment, I don't know. Maybe it's happening in this moment when you think about it.
And if I don't think about it, maybe I don't have to, it won't be happening. Right?
Well, if you're not thinking about it, it's not happening.
Yeah. So I haven't read enough of your writings to see whether you would address depression, so to speak, or...
I don't address anything.
Yeah.
Except what's here.
What's here, right?
Yeah. So my teaching is a living teaching. My teaching is about what we're doing here now.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm concerned with. It's not anything other than that.
So I've kind of been conditioned this way. It's a bad habit, and I just can't kind of break the habit right now, right this second.
Okay.
And
So what's the problem?
yeah, have to grin and bear it, I guess. Or
I don't know. I don't know what you have to do. But what's the problem?
the problem is me not being able to create the kind of life I want. A kind of a helpless feeling.
I would assume that you have not been able to create the kind of life you want your entire life.
Oh, I've had some moments though. I've had some.
You've had moments.
Some
You've had some things, but
Yeah.
that's not your life. That's things.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was pretty good up to,
You had some good things.
yeah.
Yes, but we're not talking about good. You'll still have good things. Through your day, you got to have some good things in your day.
Yeah, you know,
You still get good things.
yeah.
This isn't so shitty.
It's so interesting. You're absolutely correct. It's not so shitty, but my perspective sucks.
Okay, but your perspective sucks when you think about your perspective. But in those moments when you're not thinking about your perspective, you're sitting here feeling okay. When we were talking, and you had some thoughts on things, you're kind of interested in it, and you were doing okay. I could see you were doing all right.
I put out a good act.
Oh, come on.
No, okay, so I could, I'm with you.
So that is what's happening. Your life, in total, is clearly not in your power to create. If it were, you would have created all the stuff you wanted. You wouldn't have any crappy days. You wouldn't have any family problems. You wouldn't have any headaches. Everybody would love you. You'd be, you just create all of that stuff. You never have a monkey mind,
No one has that completely. I mean, there might be a few.
Oh, no, listen, no.
Yeah.
I would tend to agree with you that nobody has that. That no one is able to control their life. But what you were telling me that you were frustrated about was your inability to control your life. That's exactly what you told me.
You know all those 500 schools of teaching that says just don't believe those negative thoughts?
Yeah, that's something else.
Okay.
You just told me that what was making you miserable was that you couldn't control your life.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can. You just said it. Nobody can.
So is happiness or inner peace an inside job?
Could be. Could well be. Because there seems to be people who have inner peace even though they're unable to control their life. They get cancer, their loved ones die, accidents, all kinds of crap.
That's exactly who I work with, in cancer communities. Exactly.
Okay. So you know that some people are totally off the wall, bananas, freaked out, crazy, and others go into a zone where they just pop wide open and are in total acceptance.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you see that in your work, because that's what people faced with very, very hard life experiences sometimes react.
A heck of a lot harder than I have to go through, that's for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So, what are we saying? So maybe your inability to control your life is not your problem.
Okay. Or my inability to control my thoughts. May not be.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah. So it's my destiny to feel kind of bad a lot of the time, huh? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. My observation is that in every life, there's good and bad days. Some days you feel good, some days you feel bad. My observation also is, if you were graced with the ability to accept and surrender to what is, then the circumstances of your life seem not to be dictating whether you're at peace or not. The circumstances of your life are simply the circumstances of your life, and the peace is something else.